welcome to What in the HD. My name is Ken Fleischer. I'm with DM Works. We do a lot of advertising, and I'm going to take a moment and just give people a quick lesson on how to do testimonials or talking heads or similar to a podcast. Basically the shot that you're seeing right now. So how to set this up and shoot this in a way that is going to be helpful for you. So let's go over a few things. Real quick, first thing is the equipment. What do you need to do this? Well, you can really, all you really need is just a camera. I mean, you could just do this with any standard, consumer camera. I recommend getting an HD camcorder. They're fairly inexpensive these days. I also recommend getting a camera that has a shoe mount adapter, which is this thing right here, and that allows you to add accessories. Now, if you already have a camera, don't worry, you can get a little adapter that you can put the camera on that will give you the shoe mount. But what that does is allows you to hook up lights like this one here. This is a little light that you can put right on top of the camera, or in this case, a microphone. I highly recommend adding a microphone. The microphones on these cameras, they're okay, but they're not as directional as they could be, and you really want to be able to have what's known in this case as a shotgun microphone, or even a lavalier. They're a little more expensive, a wireless one. Those are the ones that like clip on the lapel of people. So let me get this microphone on here real quick. All right, so now I've got the microphone on. Now, in order for this to really function, you also need a camera that has a microphone in. Now, most of them, the decent ones will have one, so I recommend looking for one. In this case, this happens to be a Panasonic. It has one as well. All right, so you've got the camera mounted. Just make sure the cord isn't in front of the screen, and you're good to go. This particular microphone you have to turn on, so just make sure that you've turned it on. Aside from that, really, you have the camera, you have the microphone. If you have a friend, they can hold it for you, but they have to be relatively quiet because any noise they make, the microphone's going to pick up. So that's the other thing, no gum chewing behind the camera, anything like that. If you don't have a friend, you can get a tabletop tripod like this one. It's moldable, it's pretty cool. Or just a standard tabletop stick microphone, tripod, whatever word I'm going to use. And then, or your old school photography, standard tripod that goes to the floor. Okay, so you've got your gear. You've got your camera, tripod, mic, whatever. Now you want to frame the shot. So you're going to set up the camera, and you want to frame the shot. What is framing? Framing is this space. This is the frame, like a picture frame. So what you want to do is you want to find a well-lit space that's not too busy and either doesn't compete with the person that's talking or supports what they're saying. In this case, we've picked a pretty basic background. Doesn't compete too strongly with what I'm doing. Just a nice backdrop. It's reasonably well lit in here. These cameras, they're fairly good at picking up shots almost in any lighting, but I definitely recommend turning up the lights, opening some blinds if you need to, windows, getting some lighting in the room. If you're outdoors, be aware of the sound. Bugs, cars, trains, planes, anything. I mean, your microphone, even if it's directional, it's going to pick stuff up. So be aware of the environment, be aware of the sound. Now, in framing, if you might have heard of the rule of thirds. It's pretty common lingo in film speak. Now, what that is basically if you took the screen and you divided it like a tic-tac-toe board, you have basically a third and a third and a third, and where those lines intersect is kind of where you want to start framing your subject. So if you notice, I'm about a third in from this side of the screen, and my eyes are about a third down right here from the top of the screen. So you see, I'm in the rule of thirds right here, where my eye line is. So it's pretty reasonably well framed shot. If I have an object I want to bring in, there's room for me to do that. So this is a fairly well composed talking head shot. There's room if I want to put a title underneath. Or any kind of imagery. So if you're shooting this for any application, it leaves you a lot to work with. Okay, so now that you've sort of framed your shot, don't be afraid to be big in the shot. You can be as big, in this close up. You can be sort of, you don't want to get too much further back than this. You want to make sure you fill the frame. If you're back here, you got all this space and you're not doing anything with it, it's not a well composed shot. Okay, so now you've got the shot composed. Maybe it's similar to this. You want to be aware of anything behind you, nothing too distracting, nothing with too much light coming through it, so no windows with light coming through it. You don't want any objects moving or even other people, because then it gets really distracting. Unless they're the things you're talking about. If you're talking about, whatever, acrobats, they can be back there, but you want them to be a far enough distance that they're a little out of focus, so they're not really competing with the people's attention, unless you turn to direct their attention to it. All right, so now we've done basics of framing, we've done the camera real quick. So you want to do your content. Now, on these types of things, you can do an introduction, hi, I'm blah, 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 and this is why I'm here and talking about what I'm talking about. And then you sort of want to, make sure you keep a decent pace, but not too fast. You can script, but most people, they tend to look like they're reading. So I always suggest doing a few quick notes, just things that you kind of key points you want to get, and then do the rest sort of, in a natural, organic way. So especially on a podcast, it doesn't matter if you flub, it doesn't matter if you stammer a little bit. It feels better to the audience if it's natural. So don't script yourself too much unless you're really, really good at doing an on-camera read, and that takes a lot of practice. So I usually don't recommend doing it. Just sort of bullet points on what you want to get across. Other than that, keep shooting, do as many takes as you want. I recommend cameras that are either on cards or on a hard drive. That way you don't have the pressure of, did I get the right shot, and am I using up any kind of media? And feel free to give us an email with any questions you have. You can reach us at questions@whatinthehd.com, and we're going to do some more videos on different aspects of how to do this type of stuff and other types of shots. So keep shooting and have fun.